Story time of dating a manipulator. Well, so first off, this is my first video, y'all. So I know y'all don't know me, and I don't know why y'all would want to know, but I just want y'all to know. Don't date a manipulator if you know that they're a manipulator, for real. I didn't know my little friend was a manipulator. And I was in love with him. And he hurt my little feelings. Okay. So first things first. I'm Trey. How are you? I am a Florida boy. I lived in Atlanta for years. And I recently moved back to Florida. So I decided, why not break free and talk? Free yourself, free your mind. So, this is a good form of therapy. I do believe in therapy. I do believe in talking. I do believe in working out your situation for yourself. And I do believe in moving forward. Oftentimes we get stuck and we have setbacks. That's the word. We have setbacks in life. And the goal is to not have setbacks. Manipulation, toxic relationships, all of that is a form of a setback. Once you break it down, it makes more sense. So I guess I'll kind of, I want to try to walk you through, I guess, how I see things, I guess, a little more. So I'm going to give you my situation. I said I lived in Atlanta. So I met this guy. Long story short, I met this guy online. I met him on Grindr. And to be honest, he was supposed to be a hookup. Not gonna cap. He was supposed to be a hookup. But we conversed first, which is always a standard for everybody. Please at least talk to these people, because you got to figure out what they got going on, X, Y, and Z. No hookups. I don't do hookups anymore, thank you, Jesus. But I did, I'm grown. So in the process of that, I don't know, I guess the interest was there. I was, at that time, I had lived in Atlanta, or I lived in Atlanta a total of 8 years. Not 8 years consecutively, maybe like 6 consecutive or 5 consecutive, and then a couple times here and there. I would move back to Florida for a year and then go back and move, and wasn't stable. Couldn't get my mind together. So it was at the end of this 8-year, I guess, situation of going back and forth. I had finally prayed and told God, like, look, I'm over it. I keep coming back to Atlanta. I leave and I get happy. I go around my family because I moved away whenever I was 19. So I am 29 today. So I spent my growing up as an adult, I spent that by myself, or figuring things out, of course, which is the time that you should. So in the process of figuring things out, I met this guy, and I fell in love with his pain. So I think of myself as, I see through a lot of bullshit, because it's just people bullshit you. That's what they do. They try to bullshit you because it's just, they're liars. And you know what? I'm not even gonna say they're liars. They haven't dealt with their own shit to really have an honest assessment. That's just that. You have to be able to do your own assessment and love you for who you are and where you're at while you're there. I have to take you for you. But that comes with accepting. I've never had a hard time accepting who I am and what my faults is, because I know I've been a shitty person to people. I have been, I know that. And to be able to say that is growth in that. And not even trying to be, I wasn't trying to be a shitty person, but we are shitty people to somebody. My cousin told me this. We are shitty people. We are toxic in someone's story. We may not be toxic anymore, but we were toxic in their story. The us that they got may not have grown so much. Not saying that it wasn't you, it just wasn't the mature you that sits before us today. So, basically, I moved there at 19. I come from, I guess, a regular family. My mom and dad, and my sister. I have an older sister. Yeah, that's that. So family was something that was big to me, or at least support. Without me having support, I guess I wanted to create that support. What I didn't know was that I wanted to create my own family, or that I needed to create my own family in order to, I guess, make the city feel like home. In order to make the city feel at home, I needed to create a support system at home. So, me and this man, once again, I don't know where I met it. I think I met this one on Jacked. These gay apps. I don't know, he was a whirlwind love, basically. I was so lonely in my own story that I couldn't accept how lonely I was and just wanted anybody. Now that says something on it. Just to have anybody. Just to not be lonely anymore. I'll accept what you give. I'll accept what you take. I'll accept what you give. Anytime you give it to me, I'm just going, I'm here. I'm here for it. The growth in being able to say that took a lot. And it takes a lot. And it takes a lot in order to be strong enough to accept that. And accept things. That's the maturity in life. But you have to, in order to move on. I sat in that situation for years. Even after the relationship was over, the relationship we only dealt with each other. And it wasn't, I can't even keep calling it a relationship, because there's, 3 sides? My side, his side, and the truth. But see, I'm a real enough person, I could give you all eyes that, and just go ahead and just tell you what it really was. What it really was, I want to say we were dealing with each other. I wanted to say we were in a relationship for 2.5 years, but we were in everything but a relationship for 2.5 years. I was writing him. I wanted him so bad that, shit, I was desperate as a motherfucker. Period. Hell no, we don't do that shit. That's dumb. That's dumb. I'm sitting there watching myself like, whoa, what the fuck, bro? This man didn't want you for real. And even if he did, he liked your conversation. But not only did he like your conversation, he may have liked you, but because you were so fucking clingy, he didn't want you. And because you were willing to allow him to do all the things that he did. Because I knew all the things he was doing. I knew about the other niggas and all this other stuff. I had got to the point where I was just doing it myself and I just wasn't saying anything about it. But who was I hurting? It was hurting me. So years later, we're done. 2.5 years later, that situation is done. However, for the next 4, I still have this thing for this man. I can't break it. Me and baby, we got a soul tie. We got a soul tie. That's bad. I love him. Like, what are you talking about? Like, him? That's my nigga. Like, huh. So, I finally meet this other guy. And it's only because at this point, I'm like, okay, look, forget it. This Atlanta junk ain't working. I'm working a job that I hate. It's beating me. It's beating my ass. Everything was piling on me. And I just wanted out. I wanted out because I knew I couldn't do it. Or I felt like I couldn't do it without some kind of support. Because at that point, I was depressed. And I was going through a lot. Lonely once again, I get online and I meet this guy. I fall for him, just like I did the other one. Y'all, we had a whirlwind situation. And let me tell you, you wouldn't even believe how long it really lasted. I ain't even gonna tell you. But, no, I'm just kidding. It lasted 3 weeks, y'all. 3 weeks, and it was a whirlwind love. I was inspired. I was in love. I was inspired. I seen everything with crystals and lights and diamonds and glitter. Dumb shit. Dumb shit. Not being able to actually see the realism in these situations. These people will catch you off guard. And when they already have their own depression and they're already going through their own shit, they don't mind attaching their souls and their spirits to yours. And they're an energy vampire. And they know that you got something that a lot of people don't fucking have. Talk to me now. So, I always knew I was strong. The first guy, I knew he had issues. I knew he had drug issues, but I didn't know for himself. I knew for his family. I knew from his family, his mother. So I kind of figured that, right? So then this guy, I was like, okay, I got to kind of meet him and see who he was and see his sisters and whatever. But I didn't really enjoy them. And I didn't enjoy them because it was something about them that seemed really, I don't want to say it, dark. Not, and I don't even know if I want to say dark. It just seemed real gloomy. It was a joy. The dude was a joy to be around for me because I was already depressed. So it really was like, okay, I just got somebody else. I guess basically in my mind now I can actually say I finally had somebody else to be depressed with me. So, because misery loves company. At that point, I knew I was depressed, but I thought he was taking me out of it by having somebody else around. But the issue was when you got somebody around that's depressed as well, they kind of bring you down as well. And they're sucking what the energy you do have, and you're sucking what energy they do have. And it's just not an even fit. So, you either gotta have 2 positive people, or you gotta have at least 1 positive person, honey. You gotta be able to see that there is hope. Have to have hope. So with this guy, I fell for him so hard. Long story short, I ended up having a panic attack because he did something that reminded me of this guy. He did something that reminded me of him. And I didn't know, I didn't deal with all the things from him, and I'm trying to move on to here, but I didn't know I still hadn't finished this. The trigger broke. Boom. There I am. Outside of Atlantic Station. Well, was I crying? I don't know if I was crying necessarily. I was mad. So, long story short, he kind of chased me down, bust the top. I wasn't interested. I just needed time to calm down. I didn't know that I wasn't all the way in control of my emotions at that point. So a manipulator knows when you are and when you aren't in control of your emotions. They can definitely tell. So with me, I was just kind of like, okay, well, here, you like me, I like you too. People pay attention to me. And you know who you are, because you'll be like, child, I love him. You think he know? You think he know? He know. He know. Trust me, he knew. He knew before you did. He waiting on you to just say it. And he may say it back a couple times just to dangle it in your face, just because he know that you know. So, long story short, I met the dude, had to blow up, and he left. Disappeared like a thief in the night. So I thought it was his peace that made him leave. I thought it was the fact that you're not gonna aggravate me. You're not gonna aggravate me. So I took it as like, oh, that was maturity. But I didn't know he was a hoe, and it wasn't maturity. He just was already on to the next situation, which is fine. But he wasn't real. He wasn't a real man to go ahead and accept who he was and who I was and say, hey, you know what just happened? That was the final straw for me and you, because I really, you know what I'm saying? I was already budging on whatever. If whatever, wherever you were in your process. Then I realized that is his process. He doesn't have to give me his process. When he cuts it, he cuts it. Boom. I wanted him because I wanted to apologize, basically. I wanted to, I knew I was leaving from Atlanta to move back to Florida, so it's like, okay, you know what, this is my farewell, let me just go ahead and tell this man, bye, I'm sorry. He avoided me. I told him, man, whenever I left, whenever my move out day was, he called me a day or two after. Talk. To finally talk. All that time I was there, he didn't have nothing to say to me. Okay. I'm actually busy. He catch me at a busy moment. He was bored at his job. He caught me at a busy moment. So I told him, can I call you back? I tried to call him back. He don't answer. He never answered again. I let it go. I go through this long process of trying to reach out to him, to see him one more time. So I go back to Atlanta. And in the process of going back to Atlanta, I tell him, you know, hey, I would like to see you, da da da. He said, okay. He agrees to it. Boom. So I'm like, okay. You know, I still wanted to apologize. I still feel like that was I owed him that as a man. because I did show out on you. But what I didn't know was it was my spirit colliding with your spirit. Couldn't tell myself that you weren't the one, because you were the one in my mind. That was what it was. He was the one. I could not tell myself he was not the one. Boom. So then you say you'll agree to meet with me. You never meet with me. I give you the days I'm in Atlanta. I stayed there for like a week. The day I leave, the day after that, he calls me. He texts me. He said, "Oh, you ain't had no hope in me." I said, "Oh, I knew you. I kind of figured we would." He was like, "Oh, you ain't had no hope in me." Bullshitting. Trash can. A trash ass nigga. Real. So, because I had already figured up, or I had already picked up his patterns. I missed the first guy's patterns, which made me have the trigger point for this guy. So when this guy tried to pull the shit that the first guy pulled, I was able to see it instantly. I prayed, God, show me these people. Show me what I missed for this, so I don't go through it again at all. I'm not willing to go through the same thing over and over again. Don't get me wrong. Life is going to have a lot of ups and downs. You will go through. We'll all go through as people. However, keep going through the same pattern over and over again. That's not growth. That's being stuck. We keep doing the same thing and expecting it to work. That's the form of insanity. We got to do something different. So I'm not going to do the same thing I did with this guy, I will not be able to see both of y'all. I need to be able to see who everybody is. I could never cut this one off, ever. So even while dealing with this man, I even told this man, like, hey, I got a friend. I still have to keep in contact with Jit because I be thinking about him and have to check on him. Still, that was this one. Still was lingering. Still couldn't let that go. He had his own little demons and situations as well. This was a snake. This one was a snake as well. But this one, I don't know. I don't know why I'm pointing to my pictures. I don't know, but I guess I'm giving you guys the image of the two. So with me, I definitely needed some, I want to say reinforcement. I'm sorry, y'all. I just burped. I don't know if y'all heard it. Some reinforcement. I started praying. I started reading a book about becoming a monk. And I'm a Christian, and I don't want to become a monk, but the vow of peace that they have, I wanted to I guess, hone in on that. I wanted to be able to be able to find my center always. I wanted to be centered peacefully, where things didn't bother me so much and I didn't hold on to these people so hard. The art of letting go, the subtle art of not giving AF was one of the books that I actually read. And it was such a great read because it spoke on accepting and owning who you are. To accept and own who you are and where you are in the process of dating or dealing, or where to accept that I was lonely in both of these situations was hard for me. It was extremely hard because I knew how to live by myself because I've lived by myself. I moved away at 19. So being by myself, and I grew up basically like an only child. So being by myself wasn't hard, but why was it so hard here? It was so hard here because I didn't have any support. I kept wanting these people to be something that they weren't. I kept wanting them to be my family or my support system when they didn't come with one and didn't know what one looked like. That's just what that was. I couldn't accept that. I had to have both of these people, and both of these people were snakes. I was laying next to snakes in my bed. These people didn't like me. They didn't. This one I actually, my eyes were so open for him. I just let him play me in public. Like I basically just watched him do the shit because I wanted to hurt my own feelings. Y'all may not understand that, and that may be a term that only I get. When you know you love somebody for real, and you know it, no matter what everybody say, everybody named Uncle Mama say it, you know you ain't going for real. Cause you know, we all know we ain't going for real. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want to. They can say what they want to about him. I do love him though. So whenever I see it, I see it. But until then, we rocking. Boom. Once you know that once you accept, like, okay, look, I want to see everything. Let me keep my eyes open. I started writing. From the day I met this man, I bought me a journal. I bought me a journal immediately. I already knew the shit he kind of came with a little bit, but I didn't know how deep it was. He didn't like me, but he wanted to play a game with me. He ended up liking me towards the end of us dealing with one another, which I'll tell you that in the next story time. He liked me at the end. This one, I think he liked me for my strength. This one, he liked me for my strength as well. The thing was, that was something, and both of them envied me for the family that I had, for the strength and the family that I had. So they were energy suckers, both of these people. And I couldn't seem to escape the energy that I kept around me, which was, I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do for me. I wasn't reading my books and praying and staying open that these people could hurt me. And I needed to keep my eyes open. I was so busy enjoying the feeling of butterflies and feeling like this new refined person that I couldn't see the forest for the trees. I should have been able to see who they were well before and not even let them penetrate my mental space. Once they take you from your moment of peace or your place of peace, if you have one, at that point I didn't have one. Once you find it, don't you let anyone take you from that spot. That is your spot, and you sit on it and you peg it your spot. Okay, it is yours. Okay, I was here. Okay, drop a pin in the location. That's it. Yeah. So just all relationships have a form of manipulation. The question is, are they manipulating you for a point of good? So, for instance, if your parent is manipulating you, they know that you're not a hard worker, and they tell you, hey, well, if you do good on your report card, I'll give you $60. That's a form of manipulation. You want the money, so you're going to go and do what you need to do in order to get that $60. So, but it's helping you as well. The growth was in you going to school and getting the good grades. You didn't think of it. You thought of the $60, but you still had to learn what you needed to learn. So if it was for a good purpose, it's one thing for your parents. But at this point, we're grown. You know what's best for you. Don't let anyone take you away from what you know is right. You are sane. Remember that. You are sane. You are sane. You are sane. You are saying a manipulator will make you question everything about you. They'll make you question your thoughts about them. They'll make you question the shit they said, and you know they said it. Hell, they'll have you even question a text message that they wrote, and you got it screenshot. I'm just saying, check them.